Ford has confirmed it. The V8 is staying in the 2027 F-150 lineup for the foreseeable future. That much is official, and it is worth saying plainly right away because plenty of coverage over the past few years suggested this outcome was unlikely, if not entirely off the table. But that confirmation is only the opening chapter, because what industry watchers are now tracking is whether Ford's next move goes far beyond simply keeping the engine alive and into territory that could reshape the entire full-size truck segment. For years, the message from the industry was consistent. Smaller engines were the future. Turbocharging was the future. Hybrids and electric power were the future. Tighter EPA emissions rules pushed automakers towards smaller displacement, and billions of dollars poured into electrification programs across nearly every major manufacturer. Several brands dropped their V8 options entirely, treating the shift as inevitable. On paper, the math worked. Smaller motors meant better fuel economy. Turbocharging recovered some of the lost power, and hybrids promised stronger efficiency numbers than either option alone. Then something the forecasts did not predict happened. Sales data told a different story. Across dealership lots and owner communities, demand for V8-equipped trucks stayed stubbornly strong, and used V8 truck values held up better than analysts expected. Buyers trusted the proven durability of naturally aspirated engines, valued the mechanical simplicity, and in many cases simply preferred the sound and feel of a V8 under load. Ford noticed all of it. While rivals trimmed their V8 lineups down to nothing, or close to it, Ford kept the 5.0-liter Coyote V8 on the menu year after year, a call that now looks like it is paying off in a very real way. None of that explains why competitors are watching Ford's next move so closely right now, though. Over the past several years, performance trucks became a genuine sales category of their own, not just a marketing exercise or a niche halo product. The Ford Raptor turned into a phenomenon that outsold expectations year after year, and the Ram TRX proved buyers would pay a real premium for capability many of them might never fully use off-road. Power was back in demand across the board, and that shift in buyer behavior is exactly why the 2027 F-150 rumors matter as much as they do right now. Multiple industry reports now point to Ford continuing active development on its V8 platforms, with some suggesting the automaker is preparing something well beyond a simple carryover of the current 5.0-liter engine into the next model year. If accurate, rival brands have a real problem on their hands right now, because the question buyers keep asking across forums and comment sections everywhere is straightforward. What happens the day Ford ships the F-150 with meaningfully more V8 muscle than anything currently on the market? Here is the twist most coverage of this story skips entirely. A larger, more powerful V8 is not just an engineering challenge, it is a regulatory one. Every increase in displacement or output has to clear increasingly strict federal emissions and fuel economy standards, standards that get tighter almost every model year. That regulatory pressure is exactly why several automakers walked away from big V8s in the first place, choosing turbocharged 6s or electrification instead of fighting an uphill battle against compliance targets. If Ford has genuinely found a path through that, it says as much about the strength of their powertrain engineering team as it does about the engine itself. And it would explain why development has reportedly taken this long. That regulatory reality also explains something else worth understanding clearly, which is why Ford has not simply replaced its V8 with something newer and called it a finished job. Offering multiple powertrains, EcoBoost, hybrid, electric, and V8, lets Ford spread that regulatory risk across its entire lineup, instead of betting everything on one single solution the way some competitors have. That flexibility is Ford's real structural advantage over the field, and it is exactly why buyers with completely different priorities, whether that is towing, efficiency, technology, or raw sound and feel, can all find a version of the F-150 that actually fits how they live and work. Recent demand data reinforces the strategy rather than undercutting it. Dealers across the country report solid, sustained demand for V8-equipped models, even as EV inventory sits longer on lots than manufacturers initially projected just a couple of years back. Ram has already confirmed the return of V8 power to parts of its own lineup, a move that caught several analysts off guard given how confidently the industry had written the V8 off just a few years earlier. Ford's own Coyote V8 already carries one of the strongest reputations in the segment, built on years of real-world use by owners who trust it in daily driving and enthusiasts who build on it in the aftermarket. But the engine generating the most excitement in truck forums right now is not the Coyote. It is Godzilla. Here is why enthusiasts keep bringing it up so consistently in the first place. Ford originally built the 7.3-liter Godzilla V8 for Super Duty trucks, and it quickly earned a reputation for massive torque output and serious long-term durability under heavy load. Here is why putting that same engine in an F-150 would actually be difficult. Godzilla is a heavy iron block engine designed around a much larger, heavier-duty chassis, so fitting it into F-150 packaging while keeping curb weight and fuel economy competitive is a genuine engineering puzzle, not a simple swap. And here is why it would matter enormously to the entire segment if Ford solved that puzzle anyway. A Godzilla-powered F-150 would instantly become the single most talked-about engine option in the entire truck segment, forcing both Ram and Chevrolet to answer with something they may not currently have sitting in development. Ford has made nothing official on that front just yet, but the aftermarket obsession with Godzilla, combined with Ford's clear willingness to keep investing in V8 platforms rather than retiring them entirely, is exactly why the speculation refuses to die down among people who follow this closely. Step back from the engine specs for a moment, because this story is really about something bigger than any single spec sheet. Truck buyers do not just pick an engine. They pick how they work, how they tow, how they travel, and how they spend their weekends off the clock. An engine choice is an identity choice for a lot of these buyers, and that is precisely why the V8 conversation generates so much more genuine passion online than a simple horsepower versus torque debate ever could on its own. Modern engineering also means Ford does not need the biggest engine on paper to win this fight outright. Direct injection, advanced tuning, upgraded cooling systems, and hybrid assistance let engineers extract performance today that simply was not possible a few years ago with the same displacement. That means the 2027 F-150 could realistically deliver more power and better efficiency than most buyers currently expect, regardless of which specific V8 configuration ends up under the hood when the truck actually reaches dealers. And here is the real insight worth remembering after this video ends. The one thing to carry away from all of this: the next chapter of the truck wars will not be decided by one engine simply replacing another. It will be decided by which automaker keeps offering buyers the most genuine choice, year after year, model after model. EV adoption has cooled compared to earlier forecasts from just a couple of years ago. Hybrid demand keeps climbing steadily, and traditional powertrains are holding their ground far better than many analysts predicted, with no single option winning outright across the board. That uncertainty rewards exactly the kind of flexible lineup Ford has spent years building. EcoBoost, hybrid, electric, Lightning, and V8, all under one roof. Something almost no competitor can currently match at this scale. Ford does not need every single buyer choosing the V8 to make this strategy work. It just needs enough of them to keep that option worth building and worth defending. And current demand data suggests that bar is being cleared comfortably, quarter after quarter. So here is the real question for you, and it deserves more than a yes or no answer. If Ford delivers a genuinely more powerful V8 F-150, which would you actually choose? The 5.0-liter V8, an EcoBoost, a hybrid, or the electric Lightning? And what specifically about how you use a truck would drive that decision? Tell us which one and why in the comments, because your answer says as much about how you work, tow, and travel as it does about the truck itself. The next generation of truck competition will not be decided by one powertrain beating out the rest of the field. It will be decided by what buyers keep choosing when automakers finally let them choose.